Ah, hey, I got something to say, people. What a wonderful, wonderful summer it's been. I appreciate all your support. You guys have been the bomb. And also okay, I'm just saying, I'm recording here on Tuesday. And what is Tuesday? Prop Up Tuesday. And the woman, Towanda, is in the house that set it on fire. Towanda Livingston is in the house. I mean, Towanda, you were single-handedly responsible for taking it off the roof. Yeah. I mean,
Oh my God.
the jars keep coming, and today,
Oh,
like, pick one later. But when I sent it out, I have to just tell them, you were like, I got this, I got that, I got so many people. So I'm so honored that we're recording on Tuesday. Thank you for being here.
Mhm. Oh, thank you. Thank you for Sandy. And trust me, it's all God. He has surrounded me with so many wonderful people. I just could not prop up just one. It's just so many people that have poured into me, and I want to pour back into them. But more importantly, I want to share them with the world because these are some amazing people. So thank you for creating a forum where we were able to do that.
Yeah.
So we want to prop you up today on Prop Up Tuesday.
All right. Well, I know we could go forever, and it's a
Yes.
30-minute show. And before we started recording, I was telling Tawana, the roofing guy's here. My son's here with two kids that are living with us, and then more kids came, and it was just so much energy and fun. I'm like, okay, everybody settle down. I got Tawanda in the house, and they're like, oh, we want to meet Tawanda. I'm like, hold on. But they want to hear all about this because they're very excited about what you do. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. I love to share what I'm very passionate about what I do, and I'm always looking for disciples. So absolutely, absolutely. I welcome them to the table and to the room.
Yeah. And it's good to have different energy with 21-year-olds.
Yes, yes.
All right. Well, I'm going to tell you just a little bit about Tawanda. Let's get this party started. Tawanda is a trailblazing economic inclusion executive, economic inclusion evangelist. I love that. Whose nearly 3 decades of transformative leadership span government, public, and private sectors. Renowned for championing system. By the way, they're going to come running down the steps when they hear that. Renowned for championing systemic change, Towanda redefines what's possible for economic inclusion by actively, important word, challenging barriers and expanding opportunities for women, marginalized communities, and small business. Her forward-thinking approach, I can feel the energy come off the page.
Yes. Yeah.
Forward-thinking approach empowers these groups not only to participate, but to thrive, ensuring their voices are heard and their contributions valued. By designing and implementing breakthrough growth strategies, Towanda fosters equitable partnerships that drive both social justice and sustainable business development, catalyzing meaningful progress across industries and society. Okay,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
done.
When you read that, I didn't know who you were talking about. Of course, I know people say that, but really, for me, Sandy, I could tell you when I hear people read my bio and I have to ask God, is that me? And he says, yep. He says, yep, that's you. So thank you. Thank you. And with your energy and passion, it just added another layer to my bio. So I appreciate that generous opening.
Now, and I know what you're saying. I'm like, did I do that? And you forget. And then you hear God, stand in your power, woman. Stand in your power. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So,
Mhm.
one thing you want to say to the women around the world and the men that support us. By the way, I've been doing this for many years, and I never even heard something close to this.
Mm-hmm.
Tawana said, you can't be afraid to be a freshman at the next level. All right. Tell us, of all the things you could have picked, why'd you pick that one?
The reason why I picked that one is because everyone talks about leveling up, but they really are in their comfort zone and they're comfortable and complacent at where they are. They want to grow, but they are afraid of what's next. You cannot be afraid of leveling up. You cannot be afraid of being an amateur in a room of pros, because how do you become a pro? You surround yourself by other pros. How do you become successful? You surround yourself with other successful. Sandy, if you're the smartest person in a room, guess what? You're in the wrong room. If you're the smartest person in your group, you're in the wrong circle. You must not be afraid. Don't be afraid of being a freshman at the next level, because your best and next is at that level. So don't marginalize yourself by, shrinking yourself into your fear or being comfortable where people praise you, as opposed to challenging you to be your best. Because also the reason why I picked that statement, and that's one of my coined statements, right? Don't be afraid to be a freshman at the next level. No matter who I'm coaching, who I'm mentoring, that's something I always say. Because here's the deal, Sandy. Life doesn't require perfection. It requires participation. And I'm saying to the women and the men
There's
around
so
the
many
world.
pearls of wisdom. I gotta hold on. So I gotta back up a second. I just
Okay.
make sure the people got this, because this is so, you want to surround yourself. I get you don't want to be the smartest and all that, but this with people that don't just praise you, but challenge.
Challenge you.
Okay. I got that.
People have to you got to surround yourself with people who are going to tell you what you need to hear, not necessarily what you want to hear.
Okay. All right. Now we can move on. All right. Because that's huge.
Yes.
That's huge.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and that's basically why I picked it, because again, folks want to be spectators in life, and I'm challenging you to be participatory in it. But bring your voice out, bring your zone of genius, your greatness out. Someone is waiting for your greatness to show up so it can enhance and empower their greatness. Yeah.
I know. I think I got that first one right.
Yeah.
And all my businesses, I surrounded myself with people that I just thought were brilliant in that area. And I couldn't wait to learn from them. And I even remember, even when I still taught classes in my health clubs forever, and I would bring in instructors that were, I thought, the bomb, and would draw so many people in. And I have to tell you, it was weird. Even some of the members would torque me and will make up names. Oh, did you see Sally? She's bringing in more numbers than you in her classes. They would try to, and I'd say, isn't that great? You do know I own the place.
Yes, that's good. And people will try to shame you and shrink you because they are in their cage, their prison they put for themselves that lock in their limits, right? You know what? It doesn't, whether for me, Sandy, what it is I don't care if it's one person in a room or 10,000 in a room, they're going to get all of me. Right? Because you never know how that's going to multiply. See, people try to judge you and limit you by numbers. And let me just tell you, Sandy, it's not about going viral. It's about being victorious, right? And you got the victory because guess what? You own the building. So that's great. Keep bringing them in, right? Keep bringing them in. This class could be small. It could be 2. It could be 22, but I still get the victory.
I'm so glad we're recording this.
I don't know. I don't know if you want to be recording me.
I know, because I'm going to keep
I definitely want to, and you know what, you inspire me so much, Sandy, to bring out my best self. You were talking about how the kids make you want to be a better human. It's folks like yourself that make me want to show up as the best woman I can be the best wife I can be, the best sister, aunt, co-worker, director. Really want to show up great for people because you don't know who you're going to inspire and you don't know who's watching. And that's very, very important. So, I just have to say that people who are envious of you and jealous of you will always try to tear you down. But once you have conviction and commitment and confidence in yourself, no one can tell you who you should, would, or could be, right? Because your purpose is ingrained in you. And I like to say marbled in the meat. So no one can take that away from you, right? Unless you give them permission. Right. So I like when people underestimate me. I like when people say, well, you know what? She's not for me. And you're right. I'm not for you because I am a rare commodity. I'm not going to be for everyone, but I am for someone. Right. And that's like this message in this podcast is for someone.
Yeah. All right. I don't know. We're
You
gonna
know?
series with you. I mean, come on.
Yes.
All right.
Bring the
Connection
energy.
is queen. I'm not even, I read through it. It's brilliant. It's so well thought out, but I want you to go for it. Expand upon that.
So, you know, people always say cash and king is king, and it is, but you know, credit is queen, right? So, but for me, connection is queen, right? We have to be willing to connect. Our our success, our collective success is we're mutually dependent on one another. So connection is where we need to start. No matter where you're at in life and what you're doing, connection is where you're at. When you're connecting with people, I like to say the narrative changes, right? From, you know, selfish need, right? To what? Selfless gains, right? Because you make yourself open to serve and not sell, right? And so when you're doing that, you can build meaningful connections. These meaningful connections will multiply, just like collaboration. It helps to stretch you. It helps to shift you. It helps to strengthen you. Connections is where the rubber hits the road for me, because if you form those connections, remember, leveling up, right? Getting
Right.
into the right circles, getting into the right network, people who are going to cheer you on, right? But they also are going to check you and strengthen you. Iron does sharpen iron. Diamonds cut the other diamonds, right? So again, connection is queen. You have to form meaningful connections in your life. You know, connection is like vitamin C, right? It helps you build up your immune system because you're going to face challenges in this world where your connections are going to be able to step in and help you when you don't see a way, but they're going to help make a way for you. So you take your vitamin C, your connection, right? People will come to you and gravitate to you. You're going to be like, where did this resource come from? Where did this person come from? They came from you putting out the energy in the world that you're willing to connect. Authentically connect with people, be vulnerable with people, right? Because that's what connection requires. It requires a level of vulnerability that will grow you. It will be painful sometimes, right? Because not all connections are great connections, right? They all come with lessons and growth opportunities. But rest assured, my sisters and brothers, it will elevate you to levels you have no idea. Because connections, these are people who are speaking your name in rooms you haven't entered yet. When you're looking for a job, a promotion, or your next gig or your next contract, you're going to what? Tap into your network, your connections. And if you serve that network well, you will be blessed beyond measure. Success is going to surely be yours because as soon as you put it out there, your connection is going to stand in the gap for you. They're going to make a way for you, make an opportunity for you because they're going to let you borrow their network and their social equity so you can elevate. That's the power of true and authentic connection.
You know, Tona, what advice would you give to, and not just, you know, hang upstairs, because I get this over and over again, because I do work at colleges. And they realize that they're stuck in their head down and they don't want to be. And when I mean that with the phone and the laptops and all that, and they want to make connection. But even this one lady said to me, young lady, Sandy, even walking down the street, it makes me so sad. And not having my phone in my hand to look up, I'm nervous to make eye connection. And they were looking she's like, we just want guidance on how to do it because we've been doing this for so long, how to break out of it. And I told them, I said, well, I
Yes.
gave them some ideas, but I wanted to ask
Yeah.
you for guidance because I do get it. I didn't grow up in that
Hmm.
area. You
Hmm.
know, I
Yes.
recognize it's way more difficult. What advice would you have for them? How to get
I would
started?
the advice I would have for people who are having trouble in connecting is to just pause, right? When you're having trouble connect, I need you to pause and remember when you were a child, if you can. Children are so curious. They can't help but put their hands, connect, taste things, bite things, and everything. They're so curious. I would ask that you kick in that curiosity, right? Kicking that curiosity mode, right? Um, and then once you are curious, right, it's not just about searching on your phone and on your computer or what have you. It is about the human connection. Everything is about humans connecting. That's what technology was about. It was making the world a little bit smaller, but people were still connecting. And what I'm
Gotcha.
stating is that when you pull back as young folks in people, anyone who has anxiety with connecting, it's just like any other muscle. You must exercise it. You must put yourself in predicaments where it's going to force you to build your interpersonal skills, to connect with people on the real level, on a genuine level. And I know it's hard, but striking up a conversation while you're getting your coffee, right? If you're going to the gym, you're treadmilling against someone else next to you, strike up a conversation. Force yourself to do that. It's just like any other muscle. You have to exercise it if you want to build that muscle. And start with small steps. Don't go out into a concert and try to introduce yourself to 1,000 people. That's not what I'm saying. Because let this be the year of no empty connections. Everyone you meet, you want to connect with on a real level. Because you'll be surprised at the similarities and the things that you share with other people from other different walks of life. I know it's easy to sometimes connect with people in your class if you're going inside a classroom, that because you're now put in an environment where you connect with people. What I'm asking you to do is stretch yourself. Stretch yourself. Now it's going to be stress in the stretch, but you can't snap in the stretch, right? So I would encourage people to really step out of their comfort zone, little at a time, put yourself in networking. Go to meetups, go to networking. If you're in gaming, go to a live gaming event, right? Connect with folks that you just want to curious about who they are, be curious about who they are, what they do, how did they end up in this space, and then you keep on moving on, right? Now, like I said, this is going to be the year of no empty connections, right? So again, then you start to get their connection information, however you're going to connect with them, social media, whatever you're going to do, connect with them, and you check in with them occasionally. Well, how you doing? I know we met at this event, but I wanted to know what's going on. I know you were going to go to Alaska. How was that trip? Again, you're now cultivating that relationship beyond just the initial connection. I know people say connecting with people is an art, but it is the human condition. We were not born to be alone. We were not born to
Yeah.
be, handcuffed to an iPhone or a computer. We really do need human connection. And people, and let me tell you, you can look, scientists have done this. They've done the study. People who connect with other people face to face, handshakes and things of that nature, it helps to boost their immune systems, right? Because you need a human connection. There is something that's in our makeup as human beings, Sandy, that when you're lonely and you isolate yourself, guess what? Lonely people are what they say lonely, and they could be lonely in their mind,
Yeah.
die faster than people who have connections, right? That's why it's great to bring grandchildren around to if you're not seeing your parents often, bring your children around. Again, it gives them a sense of purpose. It gives you the will to live when you're connecting with other people. There's so much power in connection. But I would go back to your original question. What do you need to be? One, be curious. to put
Yep.
yourselves in predicaments where you are forced to connect. Force yourself to connect a little at a time, just like any other exercise, just like any other diet, right? And any other discipline, right? You got to keep repeating it. Some people say in order to be a habit, you got to repeat it 7 times. Some people say 21 times. I'm saying don't put a limit on it. Just make
Yeah.
yourself available for it.
Yeah. And I love that you said it's like a muscle. It's like everything else. Little bit, work it every single day.
Mhm.
Like, don't go into 1,000 people.
Mm-mm.
It's the person at the coffee line or on
Mhm.
the treadmill. Little pieces. I
Mhm.
love it. All right. I don't know if we're going to get them all in here, so I'm going to.
Okay.
I hit the ones I love,
Mhm.
and I haven't heard in a while. But let's collect those wins.
Collecting the wins,
Oh man,
right?
I just
Curating.
feel. Oh, it's so needed.
Collecting and curating wins is so extremely important, and it helps you build up your confidence. You have your, pat yourself and data girls and data boys. Yes, collecting wins is very, very powerful because failure is not an option. I don't know about you and the others who are going to experience this podcast, but I am not in the business of collecting L's. I'm only collecting W's, right? The only L I'm going to collect is lessons learned, right? I only collect wins and curate wins because there's something powerful in that. Now, let me just say, life be lifing, right? So you're going to have lessons learned, right? You're going to get into a valley in your life and in your business or wherever you are, you're in sports or whatever you're doing, there's going to be a valley, right? But the best work happens in the valley, right? Because the valley helps you build your winner's muscle. So when you get to the top, when you conquer the mountain, you're going to not only conquer, you're going to claim it and you're going to sustain it. See, the collecting the wins is it helps you change your mindset, right?
Yeah.
Because even though it changes you from having a pity party to a pivot party, right? That's what it changes your mindset too, right? So a winner, right? So having that winner mindset doesn't mean that life is not going to get hard, doesn't mean that you're not going to struggle. It means that even if it knocks you down, you're going to get up. So when your winner mindset kicks in, because it's going to kick in strong because that muscle is going to be strong, you then will be able to kick ass wherever you go. Right? Because you have a winning mindset. There is no such thing in you that says I'm a loser. You don't accept anything that says I'm a loser. If that even comes into your mind, I need you to arrest that thought and recognize, look at yourself in the mirror, recognize who you are. You are anointed and appointed to be a winner, a dominator, a conqueror. And this is not how your story doesn't end in the valley. It begins in the valley. The valley is the starting line, not the finish line. The finish line is when you have collected all your wins, curated all your wins, and on your tombstone, it said, here lies a winner. That's it.
It's such a simple shift. It's such a simple shift, but so important. I cannot tell you, well, I'm sure you are very much aware of this. So many incredible women that all they do is tell me everything that didn't work out for them. And they constantly feel like they're falling short. They're incredible women. They've done amazing things. They're amazing human beings, but they're so freaking tough on themselves.
And we are our toughest critics, right? And that's because we've allowed external influences to tell us who we are, right? You got to break that habit. So we're looking for validation. But I'm here to tell you, you already are validated. The moment you woke up this morning, you took your first breath in this world. The moment your feet hit the floor, you got dressed for the day, you were already winning. Right. And so that's why I say be a curator, a collector of wins. I'm not just talking about the big things, I'm talking about the little things. And that way we got to reprogram our minds. So we're not automatically, telling ourselves what we're not doing, or we could have been better, or, I should have did this. I fell short. Look at her. Look, that's why horses wear blinders, because they have to run what? Their race. Right. And in this case, I'm asking you to, when you're winning, right? In a way, I'm asking you to put blinders on, but see-through blinders, right? So the reason why I'm saying that is because I need for you to cut out the rhetoric, cut out the negativity. And let me just tell you something. The worst person I could be alone with is myself.
Yeah,
Let me just
absolutely.
because
I
you're
get it.
talking to yourself, right, Sandy? So you got to stop that stinking thinking. You got to arrest that thought and replace it with the truth. That's why I'm saying be a curator and collector of wins, because I need you to pull out that winner's page. I need for you to pull out that winner's bucket, that kudos bucket, and remind yourself that you've been here before, right? You conquered, you dominated, and you know what? You beating up yourself is not going to change your positioning, right? Because as long as you negative talk yourself, you're going to marginalize your opportunities. You're going to put a limit on God. You're going to put a limit on yourself because you're talking negative to yourself. Because guess what? The subconscious and the can't help but believe what you tell it, right? And so what I'm saying is just like that other muscle,
Yeah.
right? The winner's muscle needs to be built too. And every day you have to reaffirm, confirm, and affirm that you are a winner. You can do this. Look, your toughest days are behind you, right? So, and guess what? Even in the worst part of your life, when life tried to take you out, right? Look where you are. This is what's the date? July 15, 2025, and you're still standing. My friends, my sisters, my brothers, you are a winner. You need to keep telling yourself that, right? So again, life doesn't demand perfection, it just demands participation, and you're outpacing the competition. You're in the extra mile, and not many people dwell there, but you're dwelling there because you have that winner spirit, that winner courage, and that winner bravery in you.
Love it. I'm going to make posters all over. I always
You
have,
gotta make this.
I'm going to have winner, winner, winner. And last month it was like, you can say no, no, no.
Yes,
All right, ready?
absolutely.
Which leads right into this one. Congratulate other women.
Woo! Sandy, you know what? We have to shed our egos and our pride, right? We got to get rid of being envious and jealous, and have other women inspire us and empower us and help us to aim. And like I said, AIM is the acronym for aspiration, inspiration, and motivation, right? Aim higher, right? You need to be able to go where you're celebrated and not tolerated. Other women, we must congratulate other women. If you see a woman who, something simple, she's wearing a nice set of pearls, right? And you say, oh, in your mind, that's a nice set of pearls, right? Instead of voicing it to her and giving her that compliment, don't hold back compliments. Compliment women and girls, and that we need those compliments, right? And not that we need external validation, but that just reassures that when we enter the world, we're being seen. When we enter a room, we're going to be like a thermostat, not a thermometer. A thermometer goes up and down with the atmospheric temperature. A thermostat changes the energy in the room. So a woman, when she steps into the room, she's going to change the energy in the room. And the way she does that is, and the way that she knows that she's in the right room, is when other women compliment her, greet her, congratulate her, and not only that, you need to congratulate and compliment yourself. That's not a prideful and ego thing to compliment yourself, to congratulate yourself. You need to do that and continue to do that. However, you have to make space to congratulate other women. Anytime you are holding another woman back, or you had an opportunity to speak her name in the room and put respect on her name, or you had an opportunity to elevate her, or to share her, like a referral for her, and you don't
Yeah.
do that, guess what happens? You marginalize your own success. Right? You cannot suffer from a case of the onlys, right, Sandy? That's the problem, that people have these cases of the onlys. That's a bad condition. It's a bad cancer, right? Where you need to be the only woman in the boardroom. You need to be the only woman that's an executive, the only woman at the top. Listen, when you invite other women, and let me just say this, if you get into that room, and this is what I practice, if I get into a room and I don't see other women or other people that look like me, Sandy, I'm taking off those stilettos and I'm going to ram that heel in the door. And so all of us can come in, because having others that at the table that are women, other men at the table, only validates why I'm there. It doesn't take away, it adds value to saying that bringing more to the table, more of this zone of genius, more of this creativity, this innovation that comes with people with these experiences is going to validate why I'm not in this room. And I didn't get here just because I'm a Black woman. I got here because of my capabilities, my capacity, and my willingness to what? Serve and bring others. So that's what I'm saying about you need to congratulate other women, because there's a lot of people fighting battles, fighting health battles, spiritual battles, physical battles, work battles. It's a lot going on in our world, right?
Yeah.
And we need to congratulate one another. Say, hey, congratulations, you made it to Sandy. Congratulations, you made it to January 15, 2025. That's a huge thing. You know how many things, how many hurdles and battles and illnesses and negative people you had to dodge to get here? So congratulations is very, very important.
Oh my
And again, it's going to multiply your blessings when you congratulate others sincerely. I'm not saying going around and say, you get one, you get one, you get one.
I know what you mean. Come from the heart. By the way, just coincidentally, I'm going to, you ever heard of NABO, National Association for Women?
Yes,
I'm going tonight to their summer soiree. I'm like going to be all pumped up.
Yeah. Pumped up, guys. Yes, you're going to be a thermostat. You're going to be a thermostat. You're going to change the energy in the room.
So, it leads right into this. Collaboration is the great multiplier. And you were talking about this a little. And I really want to dive into this more, because I do hear from other women secretly. They'll say, Sandy, well, I know I'm supposed to bring other women with me, but I feel it takes the power away if I'm the only woman in the room. I mean, it really heightens my presence. They feel it, and then if another woman comes in, I'm not going to be as special. So I want to really go into the collaboration is the great multiplier, but I also want to circle back, because people, why don't they tell me this in private?
Yes, yes, because I would hate for them to say that in public, but in private, yes. Because if there's something that's gnawing at you, then let's talk about it. And you need to have a safe harbor where you can talk about that, to have a courageous conversation about it. Absolutely. So collaboration is one of the great multipliers. The greatest multiplier this side of heaven is women, period. That's it, right? So, but collaboration is one of the great multipliers, because what we know, it's just like when you co-brand or when you're doing tug of war and you have a team, right? One person against 10 people is not going to work, right? So again, in business, in life, when you collaborate with others, it will multiply your market reach, your customer base, your cash flow, your capacity, your capabilities. Collaboration is positioned to multiply, because 5 minds are better than 1 mind. 5 sets of hands are better than 1 hand. Power of collaboration. Collaboration is so powerful, Sandy, that it will change your competitors to your collaborators. Right? That's how powerful collaboration is. And I always say this to businesses, like, well, I just do this. No, you don't just do that, right? right? What is the value, your value creation? Now, how do you multiply that value? Is there someone that has complementary services that you now can co-brand and go after contracts, or work as, a team to go after contracts? Because now guess what? Your credit line increases, your ability to access the capital increases, because now you have a team that's going after it as opposed to just an individual company. Now your customer can have a one-stop shop instead of I have to go here to pick up this, here to pick up this. You brought them all together and it's a one-stop shop.
I love that.
Collaboration, just like in life, right? That's why people have partners, right? I know folks don't like to talk about marriage, but there's a reason why God made Eve, right? Because he knew that Adam couldn't do it alone. He needed another person to collaborate, to build with, and that's why I say the human condition, that's why connection is so very important, Sandy, because we were not meant to life this alone. Life is life, and it's even more life when you have to do it alone. I'm not saying that you need to get married. I'm saying it could be your sister circle, it could be your significant other, but let me just tell you something. I hear people say this all the time. Entrepreneurship is lonely. It's lonely being a CEO. It doesn't have to be. Right? We know that life is more than that. Now, that might have been the old roadmap, but look, that road ended, right? Now the baton has passed to you and you get a chance to do this better. Entrepreneurs don't have to do it alone. Because let me just tell you something. There's no one on this earth that is self-made. Babies are not self-made. Great leaders are not self-made. Someone had to give you an opportunity, right? Somebody had to coach you, had to mentor, had to lend you money, had to buy your product, right? So again, I just ask that people shed their ego, because to me, ego is an acronym for edging goodness out, edging greatness out, and dare I say, edging God out.
Towanda!
You can cut whatever part you want.
Listen to you all day, every day. I want to just hug you. Okay.
I'm gonna hug you. I'm hugging you right now. Virtual hugs.
I think you live near though. Where do you live?
Newark. My husband and I live in Newark, Delaware.
Oh, I was gonna say, because I'm going to the Newark airport tomorrow, but I think that's another one.
That's in New Jersey. That's North Jersey. I know where that's at.
I'm in the suburbs of Philly. You're not far from me.
No, well, I'm a Philly native, right? We live in Delaware. My husband and I claim Philly all day long, because not only do we love our city, we are in love with every part of our city. Educated, grew up there, core family is there. Go Eagles, Sixers, Flyers, Union. We are all Philly all day long. So you're in my city,
Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right. So we're going to end on this one. Silence has a cost.
That's correct. So,
and we got them all in, by the way. We got them all in.
Got them all in. Right. Good. So what I like to ask folks in this, when I'm talking about silence as a cost, is that we need to pause and ask ourselves, when we're in rooms where we believe that we don't belong, or sitting at tables where we don't belong, or whatever this negative thinking we tell ourselves. The question I'm saying that you need to ask yourself is, what is my silence costing me? Right? Or what is my silence costing the people that I came to the table for, to advocate for, to support? Right? Because silence is not an option anymore. Now, the only time you need to be silent is when you're listening, right? And you're learning, right? But what I'm talking about is when you have an opportunity to speak on behalf of yourself, advocate for yourself, or advocate for others, is that silence is not the right course of action, right? You have to be courageous enough, swallow that, whatever that anxiety you're feeling, use that as energy to break your silence and break the habit of being silent, right? And then when there's an opportunity to be on silence on issues that impact women, girls, workplace, society, human trafficking, wherever it is, or it may be just in your home, right? Being silent in your home when you know that that is not the right path, that you're going to ultimately pay the cost, because every decision, good, bad, or indifferent, we make in life comes with consequences. Now, some consequences we can survive and thrive from, but we know we live in a world where people make choices where they can't come back from, and they have dire consequences. And silence is deafening. And so that's why I challenge everyone that you ask yourself, what is my silence costing me? What is my silence costing the ones I love? What is my silence costing the ones I said I would advocate for, and give voice to the silence? I mean, voice to those who are being intentionally silent.
You know, I just had an event at my house for Integrate for Good. And the woman stood up and she said, we can't anymore. We have to speak up for what we believe in. And she was feeling that so many well-meaning people, good people and good humans, sometimes feel like, well, I don't want to rock the boat. And she's like, no, we have to rock the boat.
You definitely have to rock the boat, because guess what? And that's like the same saying, right? You know, a ship in a boat looks good in a dock, but that's not what they built for, right? You have to take it out on the water. If we want to do things that deeply change what is happening, we have to be willing and courageous enough to go into the deep. Right. And so I understand self-preservation. Nobody wants to be in harm's way. No one wants to, put themselves in a predicament or be ostracized or criticized. However, nothing good comes from just sitting on the bench. Right. Life, again, is a participatory sport. Right. So you have to make the decision that when I leave this world, I'm leaving everything, all my talent, my time, talent, and treasure on this earth. I'm pouring it out. I'm going to reach those pearly gates. And guess what God is going to say to me? He's going to take his hand, rub it across his brow, and say, girl, you kept me working. Because absolutely, because again, we just have to make the choice that, no one wanted to be pushed down by fire hoses and spit in their face and beat up by batons, or, whatever torture that was put upon them. But those are the women and men who changed the world. Those are the women and men who raise their hands and say, I'm going to fight for my country. I'm going to fight for civility. I'm going to fight for freedom. Right. And because of what they did, they put themselves in harm's way in order for the greater good. And I'm not saying everybody's not built like that. Right. I understand that.
Yes,
Everybody doesn't have that type of courage, but small things. Just takes a pebble. It just takes a mustard seed to change the world. Right? Small things. I'm not talking about the big ones. I'm talking about the small things. I'm asking you not to be silent on, because it's going to cost you. Right? So people are saying, oh, it's happening to them over there, but soon it will happen to you. Right? And there's not going to be someone to speak up for you, because you burned those bridges when you did not speak up for them. And they're no longer there to support you because they're gone. Right? So again, I understand the fear, but we gotta speak up, and we have to lock arms. If we want to, we gotta do this life thing together, right? We gotta fight whatever's coming to us together. We have to lock arms, be convicted, be committed, that we're all in, because guess what? Our enemy, they're all in. And they're going to keep us divided by mass distractions. They're going to keep us in disenfranchised and disencouragement. And they're going to keep us infighting against one another, one woman against another, one woman of a different color fighting one another, because they keep you in those those small battles, then you can't win the war. But when we say, no way, clear out all the distraction, lock arm, stay focused, be convicted on our purpose, then you're not in this battle alone. That's the thing. People think that if they stand up and speak up, they're alone. We got to make people understand that they're not alone, and show up en masse to let them feel that, help them feel that they're not alone either, because sometimes it does feel like you're on an island because you're the only one, you're speaking. But we have to give them reassurance and encouragement that they're not, especially the things that have a generational impact, right?
Yeah.
For women,
Mm.
girls, and boys.
Towanda Livingston, I'm so grateful I met you. I'm so
Wow.
grateful for Prop Up Tuesday, because that's how we first met.
Yes.
And I feel beyond blessed that I get to share your journey and what you're doing in the world. It's so inspiring to so
Mm.
many. And you're right, that ripple effect. Mm, ah, and
Yes.
I can't wait. I have to connect again. We have to have you back. I don't know where I'm going to meet you, but I have to. But before we go, I want to
hmm
know, where can they find you? Because they're going to definitely want to look you up.
Oh, they can find me on LinkedIn. I'm always sharing resources, whether it's for small businesses, scholarship, job opportunities, the company I work for, contracting opportunities. I'm in LinkedIn, right? I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. They can definitely, link in with me there. Again, direct message me. I do respond to all messages I receive. So definitely easy to find me on social media. Absolutely.
Hey, I got something to say, women and men that support us around the world. Tawanda, I would really appreciate you sharing, rating it, and liking it, and subscribing. It means the world to me. And Tawanda, I freaking love every ounce of your being, your energy. It's so off the charts. I'm so, so thrilled that God put us together and that you're living this winning life.
Mhm.
And I think on that note, all I'm going to say is toodles and thank you so much.
Thank you, Sandy. You keep inspiring people. Love you.
Love you.